Donald Trump made his selection for Secretary of Health and Human Services, and he went with Republican Representative and former orthopedic surgeon Tom Price. So here's what you need to know about this pick. It's terrible. No, it really is. So I'll explain exactly why. So first of all, this is a guy who wants to repeal Obamacare, and in fact, he's been on the front lines of that battle. Now, I need everybody to keep in mind just how extreme Republicans have been on this issue. Because when, during Obama's time in office, and when the Democrats maintained control of the Senate, you still had the Republicans try over 60 times to repeal Obamacare. Now, it wasn't going to work, clearly, because the Democrats have the Senate, and Obama's not going to sign away one of his signature pieces of legislation. But it shows you something about the Republicans. They're like fucking vicious, fierce dogs. They just keep attacking, keep attacking, keep attacking. They don't care about the logic of the situation. They don't care that it has no chance of actually working. They're just like, I don't care. It's the right thing to do. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep doing it. Now, by the way, contrast that with the Democrats. When the Democrats have over 90% of the American people with them on a universal background check bill, what do? They propose it once, and then they go home and cry when it gets slapped down by the Republicans. Mitch McConnell bragged about slapping that bill down. You didn't hear any peep at any Democrats afterwards. Are you kidding me? He just handed you a gift. He slapped the American people in the face and said, I'm against universal background checks after kids were slaughtered at Sandy Hook. And the Democrats were like, oh, okay. I guess we'll move on to a different topic. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Meanwhile, when the Republicans are fighting a battle, they know they're going to lose. They keep fighting. Well, Tom Price, now Trump wants this guy as Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's massively against Obamacare, but that ain't it. So he's also massively anti-abortion, massively anti-gay rights. He is against Planned Parenthood. In fact, he has a rating of 0% from Planned Parenthood and 100% from the NRA. But the most important fact, not only does he want to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, he also wants to privatize Medicare. Now, for the Secretary of Health and Human Services, remember, this person has power in these fields. So all the talk on the campaign trail from Donald Trump during the primary and the general election of, I'm going to protect your Social Security, I'm going to protect your Medicare. Look, I'm not against those programs. Every other Republican bobblehead idiot on stage, whether it was Marco Rubio or Jeb Bush or me, Ted Cruz, they all across the board said, no, we got to reform Social Security to make it viable for the future. These are all code words for cutting and or privatizing. Donald Trump was the one Republican who stood up and said, I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to cut it. I'm just not going to cut it. So, but now what's he doing? He's appointing people for different powerful positions that want to do exactly that. We also discussed his pick for the Social Security Administration, one of his picks for the Social Security Administration. They want to privatize it. So again, he says, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Well, then why are you appointing people who want to do it and in fact have made it their mission to do it? Why are you appointing somebody who's not only against Obamacare, which I know you are too, but he's also against Medicare and against Medicaid? Dude, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, but see, this is why Donald Trump was a fucking wild card. Because I told you, he'll either be the most establishment candidate ever, because he'll get in there and realize he's over his head and say, okay, I'll just defer to people around me. And who's going to be around him? Right-wing establishment people. It's either going to be that, or it's going to be the most bullheaded authoritarian person ever who goes off every impulse. Now, it turns out it's looking like more of a mix of those two things, but this is like the worst-case scenario. And understand the plan to replace Obamacare. What is it? Listen to this genius move. Get rid of Obamacare, replace it with tax cuts. What does that even mean? Like, okay, no, we got it. We got the solution on this one, guys. It's cool. It's cool. Tax cuts. Has there ever been a problem that Republicans didn't answer with tax cuts? And by the way, remember, 98% of the time, it's not a tax cut for you. It's a tax cut for the rich. Now, there's a rare instance where it might be more than just rich people, but that's not going to solve the problem. The idea that, that's it. Okay, we solved it. We just gave people tax cuts. Okay, then what about the fact that you just repealed Obamacare, which means millions more people will be uninsured? We already have millions of people uninsured. 45,000 people die every year because they don't have access to basic health care. How are you going to fix all that other stuff? The prices through the fucking roof. There's price gouging going on. We cover the stories about a hospital in Florida where they'll give you tissues. If you use them, they bill you like a couple $100 and call it a cough suppressant aid. I mean, this is a grotesque system. How do you plan on fixing that? How do you plan on fixing all this? They're like, oh, okay, so along with the tax cuts, what we're going to do is, get ready, bold, fresh ideas. We're going to get rid of the lines around the states so insurance companies can go to any state they want. Again, that's the Republican cure-all idea, but it doesn't cure dick. All that does, for those of you who don't know, it's a trick. This policy is a trick. It makes it so that all the health insurance companies will simply go to the one state that offers them the lowest tax rate. That's it. So it's a way for them to pad their bottom line. They'll pretend like, oh, it'll lower costs for you massively. Maybe initially up front, they'll go, okay, here, since we're paying less in taxes, we'll pass off the savings to our customers. But then 2 years later, they jack it right back up and they're like, whoa, what are you talking about? So it's just another trick to pad the bottom line, and the Republican politicians are either in on the con job or they're idiots and they just think, no, that really will cure it. So this is a terrible, terrible, terrible pick. Bernie Sanders released a statement on this, calling this just incredible hypocrisy from Trump. Oh, I'm going to protect these programs. I'm going to protect them. Anyway, let me put people in charge who want to do the exact opposite. So Donald Trump, what was that thing you said about a swamp again? Because I think what you're doing now is bathing in it.